In this video, I'm going to talk about a couple of mistakes you'd want to avoid as a software engineer going into a job interview. First one would be interviewing with a company. You'll usually not get hired because of your English speaking skills, so therefore your time investment would be much better spent on things such as making sense in your answers and gaining clarity of thought, right? Second one, for the non-technical part of your interview, most of you will grossly underestimate the time required to prepare for a behavioral interview, for example. And I won't give you here how to prepare for it, but I'll just mention a couple of keywords: your story bank, your elevator pitch, or even some role play if you want. What I found that works best, especially for technical roles, is to have an outcome-driven approach. That is, you set a couple of goals and then you execute on them ruthlessly. Okay. Third thing I want to talk about here is that especially for technical people, it's easier than you think for your interviewer to read you or to read your wrong attitude during a job interview. And in fact, I'm saying this as a coach, as an interview coach, and as someone who's previously run software businesses. So my recommendation to you here would be to literally find a good reason for you to prepare these elements. Don't just say like, hey, I'm preparing for the behavioral part because the recruiter asked me to do so. Find a genuine reason to find your best stories you'd want to highlight during your interview, because this does actually show, right? Next one, software people aren't supposed to be great at with their interpersonal skills. Tell me about the time when you did not get along with a colleague, or when you disagreed with your manager, these types of questions. And what many of you unfortunately make is to clone ChatGPT examples or someone else's examples in general. I'd very much recommend you to really spend a bit of time and dive deep into your experience, because it's impossible not to have had such happenings. And maybe just one more tip here. If you're not sure that an example of your previous experience would go well in your interview, the most likely answer is yes. It just very much depends on how you communicate it, right? So how you communicate stories about your interpersonal is also hugely important. Next one, another thing that many of you don't know is that doing well on the behavioral part of the interview can play a decisive role to the outcome of your interview. Or if you want me to put it the other way, you can be the most qualified interview candidate that they interview, but if they're not sold that you're someone that can do well there, or if they believe that you're not someone they would like to share an office with, or they don't want to associate, they don't want to approve you for that job because they don't like you, they won't hire you, right? So it's with these scenarios where people with behavioral interviewing skills do considerably better within these job interviews. And last but not least, a quick tip on answering why do you want to work here. So many of you make the mistake of over complimenting the company that you're applying for. What I would recommend you instead is to find a couple of genuine reasons on why you actually want to join them. And by the way, it could be also the salary as well, but try to be genuine, try to find something different. Don't just compliment the company, right? So I hope you found these tips useful, and thank you very much for watching.